Okay, my friend, so this is the first passage that you will be reading for your periodic assessment, and it's from a longer piece called The Machine by E.M. Forster, and it's a piece of science fiction. I'm going to read it out loud to you on the video so that you can listen to this before you start with the test so you're familiar with the story. If you can, imagine a small room, hexagonal in shape, like the cell of a bee. It is lighted neither by window nor by lamp, yet it is filled with a soft radiance. There are no apertures for ventilation, yet the air is fresh. There are no musical instruments, and yet at the moment that my mediation opens, this room is throbbing with melodious sounds. An armchair is in the center, and by its side a reading desk. That is all the furniture, and in the armchair there sits a swaddled lump of flesh, a woman about 5 feet high, with a face as white as fungus. It is to her that this little room belongs. An electric bell rang. The woman touched the switch, and the music was silent. I suppose I must see who it is, she thought, and set her chair in motion. The chair, like the music, was worked by machinery, and is rolled to the other side of the room where the bell still rang importantly. "Who is it?" she called. Her voice was irritable, for she had been interrupted often since the music began. She knew several thousand people in certain directions. Human intercourse had advanced enormously. But when she listened into the receiver, her white face wrinkled into smiles, and she said, "Very well, let us talk. I will isolate myself. I do not expect anything important will happen for the next 5 minutes, and I can give you fully 5 minutes, Quono. Then I must deliver my lecture on music during the Australian period." She touched the isolation knob so that no one else could speak to her. She touched the lighting apparatus, and the little room was plunged into darkness. "Be quick," she called, her irritation returning. "Be quick, Quono. Here I am in the dark, wasting my time." But it was fully 15 seconds before the round plate that she held in her hands again began to glow. A faint blue light shot across it, darkening to purple, and presently she could see the image of her son, who lived on the other side of the earth, and he could see her. "Quono, how slow you are." He smiled gravely. "I really believe you enjoy dawdling. I have called you before, mother, but you were always busy or isolated. I have something particular to say." "What is it, dearest boy? Be quick." "Why could you not send it by pneumatic post?" "Because I prefer to saying such a thing. Well, I want you to come and see me." Shadi watched his face in the blue plate. "But I can see you," she exclaimed. "What more do you want?" "I want to see you not through the machine," said Quono. "I want to speak to you not through the wearisome machine." "Oh, hush!" said his mother, vaguely shocked. "You mustn't say things against the machine." "Why not? One mustn't. You talk as if God made the machine," cried the other. "I believe that you pray to it when you are unhappy. Men made it. Do not forget that great men, but men. The machine is much, but it is not everything. I see something like you in this plate, but I do not see you. I hear something like you through this telephone, but I do not hear you. That is why I want you to come. Pay me a visit so that we can meet face to face and talk about the hopes that are in my mind." She replied that she could scarcely spare time for a visit. "The airship barely takes 2 days to fly between me and you. I dislike airships." "Why?" "I dislike seeing the horrible brown earth, the sea, and the stars when it is dark. I get no ideas in an airship. I do not get them anywhere else." "What kind of ideas can the air give you?" He paused for an instant. "Do you not know that 4 big stars that form an oblong and 3 stars close together in the middle of the oblong, and hanging from these stars 3 other stars?" "No, I do not. I dislike the stars." "But did they give you an idea? How interesting. Tell me." "I had an idea that they were like a man." "I do not understand." "The 4 big stars are the man's shoulders and his knees. The 3 stars in the middle are like the belts that men wore once, and the 3 stars hanging are like a sword." "A sword?" "Men carried swords about with them to kill animals and other men. It does not strike me as a very good idea, but it is certainly original. When did it come to you first? In the airship. He broke off, and she fancied that he looked sad. She could not be sure, for the machine did not transmit nuances of expression. It only gave general ideas of people. An idea that was good enough for all practical purposes, Bashadi thought. The imponderable bloom, declared by a discredited philosophy to be the actual essence of intercourse, was rightly ignored by the machine, just as the imponderable bloom of the grape was ignored by the manufacture of artificial fruit. Something good enough had long since been accepted by our race. The truth is, he continued, I want to see the stars again. They are curious stars. I want to see them not from airships, but from the surface of the earth, as our ancestors did thousands of years ago. I want to visit the surface of the earth. She was shocked again. Mother, you must come, if only to explain to me what is the harm of visiting the surface of the earth. No harm, she replied, controlling herself, but no advantage. The surface of the surface of the earth is only dust and mud, no life remains on it, and you would need a respirator or the cold outer air would kill you. One dies immediately in outer air. I know, of course I shall take all precautions, and besides, well, she considered and chose her words with care. Her son had a queer temper, and she wished to dissuade him from the expedition. It is contrary to the spirit of the age, she asserted. Do you mean by that contrary to the machine? In a sense, but his image in the blue plate faded. Quono! He had isolated himself, and for a moment Vashti felt lonely. Then she generated the light, and the sight of her room, flooded with radiance and studded the electric buttons, revived her. There were buttons and switches everywhere, buttons to call for food, for music, for clothing. There was a hot bath button by pressure, of which a basin of imitation marble rose out of the floor, filled to the brim with a warm deodorized liquid. There was a cold bath button. There was a button that produced literature, and there was, of course, buttons by which she communicated with her friends. The room, though it contained nothing, was in touch with all that she cared for in the world. Vashti's next move was to turn off the isolation switch, and all accumulations of the last 3 minutes burst upon her. The room filled with the noise of bells and speaking tubes. What was the new food like? Could she recommend it? Had she had any ideas lately? Might one tell one's son her one's own ideas? Would she make an engagement to visit the public nurseries at an early date? To say this day, month, to most of these questions, she replied with irritation, a growing quality in that accelerated age. She said the new food was horrible, that she could not visit the public nurseries through the press of engagement, and that she had no idea of her own, but had been just told one, that 4 stars, 3 in the middle, were like a man, and she doubted there was much in it. Then she switched off her correspondence, and it was time to deliver her lecture on Australian music. So the that is the passage, okay? And you want to be able to identify the theme of the passage. And when you look at the questions, it's going to give you specific locations in the story to go to answer the question. All right, so if it says I know you're going to look at paragraph 1, and you're going to have to best define where it says a lump of swaddled flesh. There's other questions where you're going to be asked to go to specific locations in the text, come up with an answer, and then use your evidence to best support your answer. So make sure that you read the questions, you go to the location in the text, all right? And that you are able to kind of focus in and hone in. And for every answer, you're going to have to support your answer. So I hope this recording helped a little.